Hello students, good morning. I am your educator Dalsy and today we are going to start first topic from the chapter human reproduction, that is the male reproductive system. As you know, the male reproductive system is present in the pelvic region of the human males. So, as you know, human reproductive system, it comprises of various organs. Some are known as the primary organ, some are known as the secondary sex organ, and other are known as the accessory ducts and glands and the external genitalia. So, the organs are a pair of testes which are present in the scrotum. Then in that a pair of accessory ducts or glands, three pair of glands are present, and finally the external genitalia. So the testes are situated outside the abdominal cavity. That pouch of the skin is said to be the scrotum. And as you know, why these testes descend into the scrotum? Because the development or the growth of the sperm required the lower temperature than the body, and scrotum provides 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower temperature than the inner body temperature. For example, it provides approximately 34.5 to 35 degrees Celsius temperature, that is 2 to 2.5 degree less than that of the standard body temperature, that is 37 degree Celsius. Next, about the structure and shape of the testes. So testes are about 4 to 5 centimeter in length and 2 to 3 centimeter in diameter. So ultimately we can say they are oval shaped structures. ठीक है, each ovary is surrounded by a dense covering. So the covering of the testes are three, that are the vasculosa, next one is the cavernosa, and then the fibrosa. Three covering, they comprise or they surround the testis wall, and in each testis there are about 250 testicular lobules. They are the compartments shown in this. All these are the testicular lobules. The dark structures are the testicular lobules, and in each lobule there are the coiled structure. The coiled structure are said to be the seminiferous tubule. And in each seminiferous tubule, usually two type of cells are present. First are the male germ cell and second are the Sertoli cells. Okay, so the male germ cells are those cells which undergo meiotic division, means the cells that undergo meiosis and finally result in the formation of the spermatozoa. So male germ cells are the cell where the primary mechanism of the sexual reproduction, that is spermatogenesis, takes place. So the germ cells are for the division or the formation of the sperms or spermatozoons, while the Sertoli cells are for providing nourishment to the growing or maturing type of sperms. When the cells are dividing, there is a high amount of requirement of the nutrition or nutrients to the growing cell. That requirement is fulfilled by the Sertoli cells. So the regions that are present outside means, as you know, lobules are in the form of compartments that are about 250 in each testis. Other than that, or at the outer spaces of the seminiferous tubule, some blood vessels and special type of cells are present that are said to be the interstitial type of cells or known as the Leydig cell. So we have studied about first the male germ cells and the Sertoli cells which are present inside the seminiferous tubules. Next, outside the seminiferous tubule, one type of cells are present that are said to be the Leydig cell or the interstitial type of cells. If you have done the endocrinology in the first semester, that is in +1, then you will be familiar with that Leydig cells are the cells which are capable of synthesizing or secreting the male sex organs or the testicular hormones known as the androgens. And androgens are the maleness controlling hormones, or they are the male sex organs. So other component cells are also present, but main focus are on these because they control or they are responsible for the formation of the sperms. So next topic is about the male accessory ducts or the glands, means these are not as such required for the formation of sperms. They are not primary characteristics or they are not the primary organs, but they help in secretion or transport of the human sperms. So the ducts are the retitestis, vas deferens, epididymis and vas efferens. So the seminiferous tubule, they first open into a network that is said to be the retitestis. Okay, then after the retitestis opens into vas efferentia. So finally it is the vas efferens, and the vas efferentia then leave the testis and open into the network like structure that is said to be the epididymis. Epididymis is not of single type, it comprises of three regions. This is the epididymis starting from this and ends at this. So epididymis is corpus, caudus and the cavernous. So the three type of epididymis or the three parts of epididymis are responsible for the division of the epididymis region, so that the sperms which are synthesized in the testicular lobules can move up to the epididymis region. So the epididymis leads to, it opens into a tube that is said to be the vas deferens, and the vas deferens, it form a loop inside the urinary, over the urinary bladder, and around, when it is revolving around or it is enclosing around the urinary bladder, a gland known as the seminal vesicle, it first ducts, it adds its duct into the vas deferens. And it is a very important part that seminal vesicle is the first vesicle which makes the sperm, or it changes the sperms into the first composition that is said to be the semen. And ultimately this duct, the seminal vesicle duct carrying vas deferens and the urinary tract carrying urethra, they opens up as an ejaculatory duct. So these ducts, they are responsible for storing and the transport of the sperms from the testis up to the outside of the body, that is via urethra. So urethra is not of one type, it is of two type. First is said to be the membranous urethra and second is said to be the penile urethra. The urethra which is present near the urinary bladder, that is membranous, and the urethra that is present near the penis or parallel to the penis region or in the penis region, that is said to be the penile urethra. Ultimately the urethra originates from the urinary bladder and it extends into the penis, and ultimately it opens up after the outer apparatus that is said to the urethral meatus, as it is shown in figure. That what happens, this is the testis, here is the epididymis. From epididymis vas deferens originate, it encircles around the urinary bladder, and when it is encircled around the first gland that is said to be the seminal vesicle, it adds its duct into the urinary bladder, first duct, and the duct formed by the union of the urinary bladder opening, that is urethra, the vas deferens and the seminal vesicle duct, it is said to be the ejaculatory duct. Finally, the two glands, that is the prostate gland and the bulbourethral gland, they also add their secretion, and they are responsible for some specific characteristic feature of the sperm that make the sperm capable to fertilize or to survive in the female genital tract. And ultimately the urethra, it moves in the penis, and ultimately it is the structure, it is made as a structure which is responsible for the ejection of both sperm and the urine, that is said to the urethral meatus. Next is what is about the penis. So penis is nothing, it is the male external genitalia through which the reproduction takes place, and it comprises of some special type of tissue which are responsible for the erection of the penis during the copulation. So extended skin present around the penis or the external urethral meatus, that is said to be the foreskin. Okay, so these are the structure of the male sex organ. The first and the last and the most important part are the accessory glands, and you must be favorable about these. So the glands are the seminal vesicles, the prostate glands and the paired bulbourethral glands. All these glands are responsible for the conversion of the sperms into the seminal fluid. Means these are the glands which add the seminal plasma, which is rich in fructose, certain kind of enzyme, and it increase the basicity of the semen so that it can survive in the acidic environment of the vagina. And ultimately the secretion of the bulbourethral gland, it makes it capable to lubricate the penis so that any kind of erection or the hardness of the penis doesn't harm the female genitalia. So it is the final diagram. It is the TS of the testis. As you shown, it is the tissue that is present around the seminiferous tubules. These are the tubules, and the tissue that is surrounding it is pink in color. It represents that there it is rich in supply. So it is the interstitial tissue, and this is the tissue that is said to be your seminiferous tubule. In the seminiferous tubule, two type of cells are present. These are said to be the germ cell, which undergo number of division and ultimately form these thread-like structures, so known as spermatozoons. And these elongated cells somewhere are present. These are just for providing nourishment. They are not undergoing the meiotic type of division, so they are said to be the Sertoli cell. So today we have done the external anatomical and internal morphology and anatomy of the male genitalia. We have done about the many topics related to the male reproductive system, that is the primary and secondary, as well as the accessory ducts and gland. So read about it. Thank you.